Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's check out the song Out of Space, running on Nintendo Switch. This game's also available on the Xbox and PlayStation, this kind of quirky game, I think I like playing on the Switch instead. So let's press any button to doom myself. Alright, not much for options, so let's review. This game is better played in a dark room. Well, I don't really have a choice. My room is not that dark. Nor would I want it to be, because I would blind myself with my TV. FBI headquarters, December 4th, 1971. Choose your character. Catherine Armstrong. Wow, that font fucking sucks. Born June 22nd, 1936. Boston, Massachusetts, age 26. Nickname Kathy. A recent arrival to the force and one of the few women in the Bureau. Despite the praises from the agents at Quantico, so far she has had a mediocre field performance. She seems to be better suited for paperwork than for agents' work. Her superiors say she's confrontational and hard to deal with. She holds a degree in forensic medicine from the University of Mass. Or Stuart Ross, born October 7th, 1928, Newton, Iowa, age 34. Nickname NA. That's a weird nickname. My name is Stuart, but you could call me NA. Yes, I know that stands for not applicable. Y'all worked with me here. One of the oldest currently active agents of the Bureau. He declined a special instructor position at the academy, choosing to be on the field solving cases. His superiors describe him as a resourceful and brave agent and has received multiple commendations. Ross is a veteran of the Korean War, where he earned a Distinguished Service Cross. Oh, okay, well, sounds like this is normal mode, and this is easy mode. Or this is hard mode, and this is easy mode. Let's play easy mode. Although it is tempting to play as a female character in this era of time. But I'm not an interesting person. Ross's scientific skills are below average, but he has many contacts and great experience, which might prove useful in the investigation. Let's play it, Stuart. Stuart, call me an A. That morning, your boss at the FBI, Arthur McConnelly, asks you to go to his office. Ross, my man. Glad to see you. When I heard that those bastards hit you during the raid, I thought your days as a field agent were gone. But here you are in one piece. I don't think you've been properly introduced to Cassie. She joined the Bureau while you were away. Hello, Agent. I've heard a lot about your past achievements at the Academy. Yeah, I can teach you a few new tricks. It's mostly exaggerations, honestly. That's what I thought, too. Your files felt more like reading a cheap noir fiction novel than serious reports. She's cute, and the folks say she's smart. Too bad she has a bad temper, too. Nevertheless, I didn't bring you here to talk about women, Ross. We need to put you back to work immediately if we want to stop whatever those damn commies are planning next. The whole deal with the Ruskies started to go to hell when we caught them red-handed building nuclear silos in Cuba. Where the hell did they get off? That's right in our own backyard. And instead of fighting them, we had to negotiate to make them back down. Ridiculous. Our politicians are too weak. There was no other way to avoid war. We sound just like the newspapers looking at the president's ass. But it was Kennedy lowering his pants. A man must never show weakness to a bully. Now the Soviets know that they can threaten us to get whatever they want. Of course, I'm not happy that the guy died. It was a tragedy. But in a way, he had it coming. Oh, what are these? What are these expressions they're painting on this face? Fortunately, I'm not the only one on the Bureau that thinks we've been underestimating the Red Menace. But that's why you're here. Take a look at these pictures, and especially don't take a look at my face. The pictures aren't very nice. There are several dead bodies in the picture, and their insides are all out. There's blood everywhere. What the hell could do something like this? A tiger? Or maybe a bear? Some kind of radar station. Doesn't belong to the military, though. I don't even know what to say about this. Someone played this poor soul like a farm animal. I've had enough of this disgusting stuff. Lovely, isn't it? Where did they find them? The pictures are from an astronomical observatory in Gardner, a small town in the state of Washington. This morning, the sheriff found this desecration. 12 bodies slaughtered, and one of the researchers is still missing. We don't know who did this or why. What were they researching? Nothing with any military purpose for all we know. The observatory was doing routine deep space data gathering for the Washington State University. Let me tell you, nothing good can come out of an obsession with outer space. Still, those folks didn't deserve to die like that. The photos were of a radio station. Yes, from what I've heard, they don't use telescopes. They seem to analyze radio signals from space, or something like that. Nothing worth dying for. Not like this, at least. Who's the missing scientist? We don't know much other than his name. Nicholas Forrester. A young PhD physics graduate. No criminal record. He and the rest were hired by the WSU a few months ago. So what do you want us to do? Simple. I want you to go and make sure that there's nothing on this case that involves the Ruskies. Normally we wouldn't send federal agents, but the town is a few miles away from the Fairchild Air Force Base, which has a lot of things that the commies would like to take a look at. This doesn't look like their job. I understand. We'll go immediately. Just drive there, ask a few questions, and let Kathy do the paperwork. I'm sure you'll be back sooner than you think. I doubt that very much. You and your partner walked to the FBI parking lot and took the black Cadillac that had been assigned to you. You drove the car for several days, only stopping to sleep at motels whilst on the road. Every mile you drove away from the headquarters of the Bureau lifted an oppressive feeling felt off of your chest. Overall, the state of Washington wasn't very welcoming, almost as if it was trying to warn you to stay away. Well, I would agree with that, actually. Catherine was silent and frowning. Something seemed to be bugging her. Do you want something? You have a problem with me? How'd you end up McConnelly's secretary? You have a problem with me? I just don't like your attitude, that's all. Would you care to explain? Well, the way you were joking with McConnelly about me, as if I were a dumb girl who needs a man to tell me how the real world works out there. As if I didn't know how to do my job. McConnelly's an idiot. I'm nothing like him. I think you're as capable of doing your work as anyone else. You're giving McConnelly too much power over you. I think you're as capable of doing your job as anyone else. I didn't need your validation. Look, I know you're trying to be nice. I'm just pissed. I know they're going to demote me sooner or later, and it won't be because of my skills, but because of what I have in my pants. If you do good field work, you'll get my commendation. Thanks, but I don't think that'll be enough. But I do appreciate your words. You're not the chauvinistic bigot I thought you were. Oh no, I mean, I need a prettier girl for that chauvinistic. I can deal with long trips, but not with uncomfortable silences. I'll turn on the radio. Huh? Seems there's some interference. Weird. That's when you realized you were just about arriving at your destination. A town called Gardner in Washington State. A bunch of nosy villagers watched closely as your car entered the small town. I know this was a small town, but I wasn't expecting it to be so American. It looks to be too much of a peaceful place for such crimes. I don't believe that at all anywhere. A boring town like this can make you insane. Yeah. Indeed, research on the topic has revealed that people from rural and isolated places like this are more prone to generate psychopathic behaviors. I take it you're familiar with psychological research on criminal profiles? Not really. It was a lucky guess. I guess that intuition is what separates you from the rest of the old dogs at the Bureau, doesn't it? The town's not very big, but the streets were crowded. Everyone seemed peaceful and calm. All of them oblivious to the brutal crimes that had just occurred a few kilometers away. Yes, kilometers. That's what we use in America. As soon as you stepped out of the car, a young man ran towards you. Black suits, driving a black Cadillac. Are you FBI, CRA, or maybe another more shady organization? No comments? Hey, I'm a citizen and I pay my taxes, so I should have some answers, me and my readers. So let's start with this interview all over again. Daniel Brown, author of the 14 report. Are you here for the dead scientists? The sheriff has not let the press on the site yet. Is it true that one of the astronomers is still missing? Do you have any clue of his whereabouts? I can't confirm or deny anything. But the readers deserve to know the truth. What readers, Daniel? That weirdo friend of yours was the only one who ever read your stupid flying saucer fanzine. And look what he ended up doing. You don't know for sure that Nicholas was the killer. What I know is that I can get you arrested for obstruction of justice. Now scram. Yeah, that's better. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that creep bothers you folks. Glad you came, Sheriff. Sheriff? No. I'm just a lackey. The sheriff is my boss. I'm Albert Crane, the deputy. Nice to meet you. I take it you're the federal agent that was sent over to investigate. And the beautiful lady is your wife? Excuse me, I'm Agent Armstrong, FBI. Oh, wow. So, are you single? Catherine's expression seemed like she was about to murder someone. Just asking for a friend. To be honest, I'm not really sure why they sent you. The sheriff and I have already identified the killer. It may take some time, but he'll be found and brought to justice. I guess you've made it that long trip in vain. You know who did it? Yeah, well, it's not like we have any proof yet, but it's obvious that the killer is the missing scientist. He went mad, murdered everyone, then ran away. What do you know about him? His name is Nicholas Forrester. He also goes by Nico. He came to work here about a year ago. I didn't know him personally, but I've heard he was a bit of an oddball, obsessed with UFOs. That son of a bitch. Only he could have done it. What can you tell us about the town? Just a typical place. We're pretty close to the military base, so all this is restricted airspace. There's no planes flying over us, so that's why the astronomy station is placed here. Other than that, it's just a town full of good people. Who was that reporter that spoke to us? Daniel Brown, a reporter? What a joke. Reporter is a word way too big for what that clown does. He likes to say that he runs a magazine, but really all he writes is a bunch of nonsense about UFOs that nobody reads. It's nuts, I know. He was friends with the killer, but I don't think he's involved at all with the murders. I've known Daniel since high school. He doesn't have the balls to hurt anybody, much less do something as inhuman as this. He's just the laughingstock of the town. How has the town reacted to all of this? Well, this is a small town, so news spreads quickly, but I think most people don't realize how horrible the whole show was. The saddest part is that one of the dead scientists was just married to the mayor's daughter, Carrie. Poor girl. But I guess it means that she's game. Well, that's one horny officer. What? Where's the sheriff? He's waiting for you at the crime scene. He didn't want to leave, just in case the culprit came back. Criminals always come back to the scene of the crime. Did you know that? I can bring you to him if you want. Oh, wait, I still have more questions. I'll check the crime scene. It's a couple of miles from here. Get in my car and I'll drive you there. Hey, George, the feds are here. The sheriff seemed nervous. He quickly tossed his cigarette and walked towards you. I'm George Berry, the sheriff of Gardner. And you are? I'm Ross, and she's Agent Armstrong. I'd say that I'm pleased to meet you, but the circumstances are quite grim. You'll find the crime scene inside the station with the bodies and everything. What is this place? A research station of some kind. I don't know. There hadn't been any problems with it until now. But I'm sure that in the future this town will be more wary about accepting foreigners. Maybe it's better if you see it with your own eyes. Afterwards, I'll answer any more questions you have. You're not coming in? No way. I've seen enough of that shit. Okay, so you need to use the mouse or the sticks. The place was an old Army radar station which had later been repurposed to gather radio signals from space. The military design was still evident, though. It was high in the mountains, so the air was cold, perhaps too cold for this time of year. As soon as you opened the door, you regretted it instantly. A flow of foul, rotten air invaded the whole place. You covered your mouth with one hand, trying desperately to control the sudden urge to vomit, and then you stepped inside. The interior was just as welcoming as promised. It was hard just to breathe among the smell of half-rotten corpses. As you step in, your shoe touches something on the ground, a mutilated arm. Just one of the dozens of human remains scattered all over the place. What the hell happened here? Did someone throw a grenade? Over a table full of computer controls, there was the main event, the whole circus of horror. A small and bloody human torso. The skin had been removed, the legs butchered, the eyes had been pulled out, and they were lying close to the head. The body had been covered by a pile of human ears. You counted them, 24. Holy shit. There was an axe on the table, and it was bloody. There were small chunks of flesh all over the edge of its head, and on the handle too. All this was done just by a single person with an axe? I find that hard to believe. There was a group of mutilated corpses lying on the ground. Arms and legs had been chopped off with blatant disregard. Some bodies had been decapitated too. The sheriff showed his face through the door. We haven't found all the heads yet. Catherine walked towards the bodies, examining them carefully. It's not just the limbs that have been cut off. The ears, they've all been removed. About that, maybe you should check the body on the table. Oh, didn't I just check that? No. God, I hope those poor people died quickly. What can you tell me about the bodies? The body shows signs of struggle, all kinds of bites, bruising, lacerations. If it wasn't because of, well, everything else, I'd say they got into a big fight. The dismemberments must have been done with a heavy-edged weapon. Maybe that axe over there. Yeah, can I help you? Let's see. Any theories on who did this or why? This kind of sadism can only be the work of a psychopath. The objective was not just killing. These people have been desecrated to the levels of obscenity. It makes no sense to any rational mind. It wasn't funny. It wasn't revenge. It was joy. The suspect was having a blast. We are just seeing the remains of a big party. How are you holding up? Well, this is something I have never seen before. I don't think anyone has. Have you never seen a corpse before? You'll see everything. You'll eventually see worse in this line of work. Have you seen corpse before? Of course I have. I do have a degree in forensic, you know. But I have never seen bodies desecrated in this manner. If it freaks you out, that's a good thing. Yeah, I guess it means I'm still sane. Anyway, you don't need to worry about me. Any idea what to do next?
may want to step outside to speak with the sheriff and his deputy, Ross. Perhaps they'll tell us something that will help us make sense of all this. If this had any sense at all. Yeah, okay. That's not new. I thought she was going to say something. Oh, excuse me. I thought she was going to say something new. You seen enough? There was an axe on the table and it was bloody. There's one. Is he talking about this? This is all the same, isn't it? All the ears are piled on top of him. Yeah. Leaving so soon? There might be more clues to check. Okay. What clues? There's only so many spots we can look at. No new information. Have you ever seen a body like this before? I don't think anyone has. Have you? Let's see. You'll see eventually, or you'll eventually see worse in this line of work. The worst thing is that I don't know if you're joking or not. Anyway, you don't need to worry about me. I think I've seen. I think I've seen enough. There's nothing else here, as far as I know. Well, I guess you understand the situation better now. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. When were they last seen alive? Or when were they last seen alive for the last time? That's the strangest part. I visited them that afternoon and everything seemed normal. Who could have imagined that they would be like this in the morning? When did you find them? In the morning, around 9 a.m. You see, I'm friends with Kara's family. She was married to William Kowalski, one of the scientists working here. She told me that her husband hadn't come home last night, so I wanted to check if he was actually working. She thought he was having an affair. Know anything about the missing scientist? His name is Nicholas Forrester, but everybody calls him Nico. An unremarkable guy, fresh out of college. Not the sanest fellow, that one. Always talking about UFOs and government conspiracies, but we never thought he'd come to this. He hasn't been seen since we found the bodies. We think he ran away to the woods. The sick bastard. I hope Beast find him and make him pay for what he's done. It will still be merciful compared to what I would do to that fucker if I got my hands on him. You seem pretty confident he's guilty. Come on, there's no other explanation. It had to be him. He was working here the night of the murderers. He's the only one whose corpse is not rotting in there, and he ran away. I just wonder what the hell makes a lanky scientist lose his head and chop up all his friends like that. That's when Catherine came out of the station. She had something in her hands. It seems that you guys missed the clue. The tapes have dates on them, so maybe they're recordings made by the scientists. Wait a minute. Huh? Yes, the one from the night of the murders happens to be missing. Well, whatever. That detail doesn't change the bigger picture, does it? Most likely, the murderer took it with him to cover his tracks. Folks? It's getting pretty late, and I'm gonna lock the gate until the doctor arrives tomorrow and disposes of the bodies. The last thing we want is animals having a feast with the deceased. And I'm sure you're pretty tired, so Albert can drive you back to your hotel, if that's okay. Sure, I'd love to take a shower. You head to the deputy's car who drove you back to your hotel in town. After checking at the hotel, you went straight to your room.
Hello, Ross. Finally, I've been trying to get in touch with you for hours.
We just arrived from the crime scene.
Damn, if you were there for so long, then you must have found something interesting, huh? Listen, I'll be speaking tomorrow with some of the top dogs in Washington. It seems that the Fairchild base was about to start testing a new prototype for the Air Force. So they are pretty nervous about the whole incident. Naturally, I've advised them to stop the entire operation until you finish the investigation. So I want to check with you about any evidence of Soviet involvement you might have found. Well, that's your main hypothesis, right?
It's too soon to discard any possibility.
Come on, Ross. This is no time to take it easy. Stop chasing Catherine's skirt and focus on the job. Everybody in Washington is looking at this case. You need to find solid evidence soon. Your credibility's on the line here. And let me be clear on this. If you're not able to find anything, I'll make sure to send someone that can. Understood?
Yes, sir. So, this is how it goes, huh? If we solve the case, he takes the credit in Washington, and if we don't, we take the blame. Anyway, I should forget about that for now and call it a day. You barely got any sleep. Strange nightmares kept on haunting you whenever you closed your eyes. When the sun finally rose, you had a quick breakfast and headed down to the reception area. We said to meet here. The hell is she? Alright, why don't we stop it there? This is Audap. You've been watching the song Out of Space running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I do like it quite a bit. I think the writing is real slick and intelligent. Yeah, obviously they aren't taking things that seriously because of the way they, cut and paste, or the way they drew over these these real images with their animation, art. I don't know what you want to call this. But regardless of that, I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting take on the point and click, especially the early 46 days of the point and click. Obviously they're doing, they're trying for a lot of nostalgia with the color palette and the resolution and things being so blocky. Personally, I don't agree with that kind of nostalgia. I would prefer that this be a nice crisp 1080p presentation, rather than this faux, 320 by 240 look, or maybe even less than that. I think PC games weren't even running at 320 by 40 back in the day. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. So definitely check it out if you like kind of these, a throwback point and click. And unlike a typical point and click, there's not like a bunch of hidden objects that you have to find, or you have to find the one pixel that'll give you the one thing you're looking for. It seems like all the stuff is laid out for you pretty well, which makes the gameplay, much easier, much nicer to go through. So yeah, I think I can recommend this one pretty safely if you're into these kind of aesthetics and you like point and clicks. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.